Hi, John Marshall, the DrillMaster. I was asked to take a look at this video and see if this is a good idea for Cub programs, Cub Scouts to do, and absolutely, I love it. I think it's a great idea. I have a little bit of an explanation to go along with this, but this is the Cub Scout flag ceremony.
A standard opening flag ceremony for your den meeting is very important. It helps your Cub Scouts learn about citizenship, gain confidence, and be part of one of Scouting's oldest traditions. But that said, it's also really simple. And keep in mind, all of the details are in Scout Book. All you need is a U.S. flag, a den flag, and 2 Cub Scouts.
So Scout Book is... Can I switch over? Yeah, there we go. That's Scout Book. It's an online, I guess it's an app, and then you track the progress of your scouts. And I think that's just awesome. That's just amazing. Amazing stuff that we do with the internet now. It's just incredible. So let's continue.
This week, Sarah is our dinner, so she will be holding the U.S. flag. And Elizabeth, I believe it is your turn to hold the den flag. Color guard, please take your places.
So you can see here, now those are posting about a Navy color guard. This is just the top of a flagstaff. It's only 3.5, 4 feet long, which is just fine to use for children. If you want to use a dowel in this case, you see here both of the flags have, and we'll get into the flag size in just a minute. Both the flags here have a spread eagle. Spread eagle's not necessary. You can have whatever finial. You don't even have to have a finial. You know, the military uses the spade finial. Navy gets into all kinds of other really neat historic finials, depending on rank and all that. But all that's military. You don't have to, scouts, you don't have to have anything on the top of the staff. Not mandatory. It is nice to have something on there, definitely, but it's not mandatory. So I just got finished posting about sailors using the top half of the flagstaff, and I just it's a horrible situation for military to do that. That's absolutely completely inappropriate. For Cub Scouts, totally different. So we have a 4-foot staff essentially with a nice big finial, and these are most likely 2x3 flags, maybe a little smaller, but this is very appropriate for the size of the children here. Now notice where they line up. All right, so we had the American flag on to the right of both of the flags. Then we had the den flag there, and then and it's nice. The American flag bearer is holding. Now their eagles are turned all which way. So if you do have the spread eagle, then you want to make sure that the eagle's facing forward there, and not necessarily just any which way. She's holding the American flag higher. Not necessary. Actually, they should be at the same height. I understand that people think that the American flag must always be higher. Well, go ahead and read all the guidance that's out there. The flag code is the Scouts guidance. Now, there can be a little more. Actually, there used to be. I have a Scout book that my dad used back in his day, and there is a flag guidance in there, and I'm not sure if it exists anymore for Scouts, but carrying them at the same level is very appropriate. The position of honor is on the right. So like I was saying, when they were resting up against the wall, the American flag was on the both of the flags right. And now here, the American flag is being carried on the right. Very appropriate. Well done to those who created the video and everybody in the video here.
Scouts, attention. Color guard, advance.
Now notice here, see how they switch sides? So I'm not exactly sure what all of this means with having. Most likely this was set up because of the camera angle. There's scouts in front of the camera, and then there is a scout leader here and a scout leader here. So how do we do this? Well, we set it up so everybody then the color guard, the color bearers, march across, and that's fine. Not a problem, not at all. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a scenario in just a second here, but notice how they cross over. The American flag bearer crosses over first, and then the den flag. You could have the state flag if you don't have a den flag. That's just fine. Not a problem at all. Now here, notice that the flags are tied on with some sort of a ribbon. That's also perfectly acceptable. You don't have to have a staff sleeve on your flag just because it's on the flagstaff. Now, when we're talking about military, yeah, there's very strict requirements, but here, this is actually historic. This is exactly the way flags initially were attached to a flagstaff, or a pole arm, really, an ancient weapon. So everything is just fine here. They're really doing well.
And salute.
At this point, the scouts recite the Pledge of Allegiance, the Scout Oath, and the Scout Law.
2. Color guard dismissed.
Now notice she said 2. 2 is ready to. That comes, hand salute and ready to come from the Department of the Navy, the Marine Corps, and I actually like that. I think that's pretty neat. So they finish. They bring their flagstaffs to order, and it's because they're all taken care of. Now I'm going to leave the video here, and I'm going to take you over to something that I've created to illustrate. Now, what I have here is a Cub Scout, it looks like, who has a little bit big of a staff to carry, and I don't think this is all that appropriate. The younger, shorter children really should be oriented with exactly what was in the Cub Scout video, and that was perfect, Scouts. That really was. BSA, you did an excellent job with that. So let me take this away, and I'll give you an example here. So what I have, these two here, these are the scout leaders, the adults, and these represent some scouts. Here we have our color bearers, and then I just created that little flag just to illustrate the point here. So we have the American flag and the scout flag. Not exactly sure if this is a scout flag, but I just took the fleur-de-lis with the eagle in it, and I just made a little temporary flag there. So what the color bearers can do is they can take the flags from their stands, and if you have normal 8-foot staff 3x5 flag, that's fine. The scouts can pick them up, take them over, and place them to where they were, and that's all they have to do. They don't have to walk anywhere specific. It's just as long as everybody is at attention, and their attention is then focused on the flags. So this is just a brief example. They can march in from the side over here and then depart to the side over here, whichever you choose. Or you can just have two of your scouts walk up to the stands right here, pull the flagstaffs out, turn around and set them down on the floor, and then hold them properly. And if you really want to get into some technicalities, then the scouting flag, the flagstaff can be dipped forward a little. I'd suggest with children this size that you put the flagstaff probably in between the feet so that it doesn't slide back, and just dip it forward in salute. Don't have to do that, but it is probably a nicety that you could teach. And then when you're when you say hand salute, then you dip that flag forward, and then ready to, you bring it back. Color guard dismissed. They turn around, they put the flags back, you're done. So Boy Scouts of America, awesome job with this. This really was a good video, and there's a little bit more to follow up here with the den leader, or at least one of the den leaders here, explaining a little more. But honestly, this is a fine presentation for what they were doing. Using the top half of the flagstaff, not a problem. Not a problem at all. As a matter of fact, remember I was saying, if you just go to a hardware store, get a dowel, and have a 4-foot dowel, and you could use it as a learning experience, and have the kids get involved with cutting the dowel in half, get an 8-foot dowel, put some stain on it. You could even create a ball finial. Looks like the finial of a curtain rod, and you can get some curtain rods or curtain rod ends that are kind of sort of like a ball finial. And you could even use that for your finial if you wanted to, and just make a whole project out of this. And then if you get the flags like this, you could sew in the ribbon at the top and the bottom on the and I forgot the end of the flag there on the usually the ends of those flags have a strip of cloth in them, and then two grommets. So you could either feed something through the grommets or sew the ribbon into the flag, and that's and I can't think of it. The opposite end is the fly end, but I can't think of. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's okay. So for scout leaders out there, especially with Cub Scouts with younger, shorter children, this was an excellent way to do it. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful.